Okay, hello. Hello, test? Oh, okay. So, just an FYI, I'm having a little issue editing the PDF document for the submission. I've already verified everything on Perforce. It's working great. It's 11:52, so still before midnight. Let's see here. As far as my code goes, pull it up here. So I had a lot of fun with this. I was initially kind of in freakout mode about this class, especially with the prototype manager. I'm still doing a little bit of work on that. However, my other class, we had to do some code reviews and just walking through that and absolutely tearing apart some of the issues with that code kind of reminded me of everything I had learned in 450. And that kind of gave me a little bit of a confidence boost. Also, working with some of this code, playing with the graphics, just like you said, Keenan, this is very addicting. I found myself having a lot of fun with this. I sort of regained my confidence back, so I'm feeling pretty good. I used some of the main structure of Keenan's sample with all the birds, however I deleted all those birds. I knew exactly what he meant right away when he was talking about the factory method and how this is going to be a huge pain in the butt. Just brute forcing all of these sprite declarations. We absolutely need to do something that's a little more automated than this, especially when we have so many different sprite objects going on in the final version of the game. I also noticed that we need to potentially have some type of a global solution or a simpler solution than having different speeds for different sprites. I also added in a extra green float value for some coloring. As we go down here, let's see, I deleted all of your sprite, or all of the sample sprites with the Angry Birds and the original aliens. I did, however, leave these two sprite boxes. I didn't have them in my final build, or my final version, but I left them in because I know we are going to need those to register the collisions for the aliens to take damage. As you can see here, I ended up going through, I made 5 static aliens. I made 4 dynamic aliens that would be moving. Static aliens would be staying still. That ended up not being the case. I had so much fun with this, I ended up just kind of using stuff randomly everywhere. I wasn't sure what these sprites were in the Alien 14x14 document that was posted by a classmate, but it looked like fire to me, so my game plan was to have them all swap out and eventually it would look like fire and I would change the color. Didn't quite turn out that way, but you'll see in just a second. I go through, I update all the different sprites that I created based off of the textures. So this coding block, I knew it changed the texture, changed the texture rectangle, and also swapped out the color, so I was basically swapping things out. I had a couple alien sprites swap each other out right here. I also added them, had them swapping out color based on this count as the time went on. I also did the same thing for the fire. I ended up doing something really cool with this, so this pointer to this fire sprite, or whatever that sprite is, actually updated, so when I use this a little further down in a different code block, not only was the sprite swapping out between 3 or 4 different sprites and changing color, but it was also spinning around and bouncing around the screen, which you'll see here in just a second. Also modified some things from the original code sample. I used the original. I also got a little curious onto how to change directions. So as you can see here, it is the reverse. This is the original code sample where it's got the alien position X greater than 800, then it resets it back to 0. When I have it depreciating by 10. It starts off at 800. Once that hits 0, that means it hits the edge of the screen, so reset it back to 800. That resets it on the opposite side of the grid. I did the same exact thing for here, except I made a little boo-boo right there. That needs to be a minus, so I should probably change that in a little bit. Let's see. Oh wow, we're already going on 5 minutes. Talk about this all night. This is a lot of fun. As you can read here, I kept some of the same original names. Like right here, I wanted to keep these collision boxes. This original code right here, this was used on the Stitch sprite. From what I observed, it flipped it upside down. Question mark. I'm still going to experiment with that one a little bit more. Swap colors, self-explanatory. Here I added that green value again. Worked in some green color changes with some of the different aliens. Down here, I think, I wasn't totally 100% sure, the swap screen rect. I think what this does is it just totally removes the alien from the screen completely. I tried to play around with that. I even tried to add in these boundaries that I had observed earlier. This code that sets the boundaries on the wall and has it reset. And that still didn't work, so that's telling me that it's based on the name going to a different screen. I called this code block the pacer because I noticed this is what gets the sprites that are not only firing across the screen, but it's also going back and forth. This tells me, based on what I just saw, that this is what we're going to be using to get our aliens moving in unison. So, figured I'd hold on to this one. This one makes the sprites spin around. I left some of that sample code in here because I could tell it had to use some audio. Obviously, we're going to need audio in the game later, so decided to keep this in. This moves around the screen at an angle, and then it bounces off the side of the screen. As you can see, it's got some of these other limits right here, where it just bounces it off based on the screen height and the X and Y coordinates. The puffer, this was originally used with the white Angry Bird, where it blew up the Angry Bird and then it deflated and then it inflated back and forth. You'll see that is one of my alien sprites coming up. Down here, I rendered all the aliens, and that's it. So, once you run it, so here you can see we've got a couple different sprites moving around. Here is my spinning sprite that I have swapping out between multiple different sprites, and it's changing colors. And you can see that it is going back and forth, pacing back and forth across the screen. So once I can regulate the time on that and get all the aliens moving in unison, that should be something that's going to be crucial towards our first milestone. Here is our sprite that is puffing up and inflating. This guy right here is changing back and forth. If you rewind this video, we missed it, but the screen rect swap guy was gone in like an instant. You can see him real quick right at the beginning. So you can also notice some of the other sprites are changing colors. This guy's changing colors, this guy's just swapping out. I did notice that when you depreciate the color value, whether it's in a loop or in the other code structure, that's how you get the color to gradually change like this. And I also implemented that over here with my puffer explosion. So, that pretty much wraps it up. So, like I said, I really enjoyed this assignment, and this was a great way to kind of get me to dig into the code, and I'm looking forward to moving on and getting this first milestone done. Thank you.